Wait, did my mic just die or something?
No, I can hear you.
Oh, no, wonderful.
Wonderful. So,
Are you recording?
I am recording, yes.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Okay, so
Yeah, I was caught so off guard. Okay, yeah.
yeah, so I think you're already kind of aware of what I'm trying to do with you today, other than rizzing you up. So,
Yeah.
there's this one character in the game that's very unique compared to the rest. And I think it's very much
Uniquely
fair.
terrible.
Well, I think it's very much fair to call her by far the best character in the game, without any constellations.
True.
So, yeah, obviously, the character in question today is, Aloy. She's very
The
unique.
only collaboration character.
The only collaboration character, and the only character that doesn't really belong at all. But today, we're trying to change that. We're trying to give her constellations, give her some of the love that literally every other character has, and to make her an actual fun, usable, playable, and dare I say it, good meta character. I don't want her to be broken, but what we're trying to achieve today is to give her a set of constellations that make her belong.
Another thing that sucks about Aloy, as you said, like you want to make her fun to play. Like
Yeah.
when you actually try to build and play Aloy, she just feels bad for like no reason.
Well, as it stands, she's a cryo Yoimiya that needs to gain stacks from her E skill, which isn't very easy to do. Like, basically, if Yoimiya isn't guaranteed her infusion field time, and she sucks, yeah that's Aloy.
God, it's not just. I'm not surprised we haven't had another collaboration character if this is how they treat them.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, you can't even get her anymore.
Well,
She was there.
so we
I
have
guess.
the goal established. You want to
Right,
begin?
now we just work towards the goal.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Immediately, because C1s are a lot of C1s are quality of life improvements.
Yes.
I think we make it so that her C1 just ignores the coil requirement in some type of way, or you only need like one coil, or at least no coils at all. Just tapping her skill is enough to get the infusion. I think that's the first thing we should do.
Yeah, let's just do that. Okay, I think that is a perfect C1. So, other than the fact that she does piss damage and doesn't do much, her fundamental issue is the inconsistency with the coils and the fact that it feels shit to play. Without that issue, she is now officially 2 tiers higher. So she's...
She can actually be used.
she can actually be used.
How it should have been from the beginning.
That is a perfect C1. Okay, let me try to cook on the C2. Generally speaking, C2 is more often than not a somewhat significant damage increase for the character. So for example, Raiden has a defense ignore, and like Nebula and Lenny just gives you a bunch of crit. So what we should do with the C2 is it changes something with her kit and gives like a 40% damage increase. What could we do?
I mean, the more coils you have... Okay, I don't... Because that could also be a pretty decent C6, but the more coils you have, it already gives you like a damage bonus to normal attacks and
Yes, it does.
whatnot. Just double it.
Just double it.
You get 200% more. Because that would also be about 40%.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. You know how I think Risley's C2 just gives his charge attack more scaling as well. Or that might be C1. No, it's C1.
C2 Sino. Oh, C2 Sino is also just like, I think 50% or 40%. Extra electric damage? I don't know.
Okay, that's actually not a bad idea. So when you get full stacks, or I guess with C1 gives you full stacks with just 1 stack, right? So
Yeah.
at C2, whenever you possess full stacks, aka whenever you generate stacks. No, screw it. With every stack on top of the full stack, you get 20% cryo damage bonus. So
Wait, does she have additional coils? Wait.
okay, so you're supposed to be able to generate 4, right? But with C1, you get 4 in 1 stack.
Yeah.
The C1 that we made. So technically, you can get 3 stacks on top of that. That's 60 cryo damage bonus, which is a pretty good C2, I think.
Yeah, pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
And then C3 and C5 are just talent level increases.
But C3 needs to be the normal attack instead of the E. That is one part about the Fontaine characters that kind of make me mauled a little bit, considering like old characters like Hu Tao, especially Hu Tao. Hu Tao, Wanderer, they got done so dirty, man. guess what? 90% of their damage comes from their normal attack talent. Guess where the C3 is gonna go? To the E skill.
3 extra, yeah.
And then there's just this Linny character came out of nowhere. Hey, my C3 gives charge attack damage. Yeah.
Giga Chad move.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfair.
Alright, so C4. For 5 stars, C4s are almost always supportive in some way. So,
You know what? Let's make C4 a supportive constellation that somehow has something to do with her burst and also benefits her damage.
I guess the coil could also act. Her ultimate. If you just damage an enemy with the ultimate, it acts as a debuff to the enemy. Okay, because basically how Alloy defeats enemies in Horizon Zero Dawn is a lot of it has to do with knocking armor off of enemies to make their points easier to hit.
Oh.
I think making that translate to gameplay somehow, because the more you hit enemies in Horizon Zero Dawn, if you aren't hitting their like critical points and you're missing a lot, that breaks off their armor, making them easier to damage. But I do think it should be a debuff in some way. I'm just trying to think of what debuff it can be that would be good and also help Alloy's team.
I have an idea. Okay, so C4, if her burst triggers a reaction, whichever reaction, the enemy's resistance to said element and cryo will be decreased by however long her field time is. So for example, if you play her with Yelan or Farina, and then they already have Hydro applied, the burst triggers freeze. Boom! Nilou C2, 35% resistance shred to cryo and Hydro for 10 seconds. Something like that.
Honestly, pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, this is perfect because it gives you a reason to use her burst, and it's a sizable buff to both the team and to herself. Yeah!
We're making her usable.
We're making her very much usable. Like right now, at C4, I think I would use her, unironically.
Yeah, and you could also use her. You don't even have to on-fielder. You could just use her as a support in that case.
Honestly, yeah. Use her Q just to buff Farina and Yelan, which I think is probably how you do the most damage anyway in this kind of team. Just give Yelan's A4 to herself. Screw it. Yeah. No, probably not. She's actually like probably decent at this point.
If she isn't decent, we failed.
Yeah.
And C5 is Q levels.
C5 is Q levels. And C6. Ah, this is an interesting one. So let's analyze this. Yeah. Right now, what styles of C6 are popular among limited 5-star characters?
Let's just copy and paste Yolan's C6, but Dendro, and then we do it again.
We do it again. Yeah, so
you can do.
Basically, what I wanted to say was there's the Yelan, Nahida, Farina type. There's the crit damage. You just gain a fuck ton of crit stats by doing something. Yeah. That's true for Nilou, for Alhaitham. I forgot who else, but there's definitely just characters that give you a bunch of crit stats at C6. And then there's also the one where when you normal attack, you do two normal attacks. Or you just do an extra instance of a certain damage. So that's Yoimiya, that's Wander, that's Risley's charge attack. So I think these three are kind of the most popular C6s, yeah?
I think it's probably going to have to be the normal attack.
That would make the most sense. So that's why we're gonna throw a curveball and not do that.
What? Base, I guess? So what would you rather do?
I want something to give her AoE. Because right now she's a Yoimiya damage dealer. AKA she does normal attacks, there's no AoE, and it's really sad. What if we combine the three?
In a way we could, yes. Also, wait, hold on. I need to check something.
Yeah, go ahead.
3 hours later.
Okay, so you know how her bombs...
Yeah.
Her bombs that trigger after a while, I was gonna say maybe like we could proc them with her normal attack somehow. And if you proc them with her normal attack, that would be bigger. I don't know how it would work.
That's actually an amazing idea. Hear me out. Okay, so whenever she uses her E skill, even if the bombs or the little bombs hit the enemies, they don't explode. Or, you know what, make them do their instance of damage, but it doesn't explode. It stays on the ground, and obviously you still get full stacks and full C2 anyway.
Yeah.
With each normal attack, one of the bombs explode. How many bombs does she even put down? I don't know.
I think it's 5.
It's 5? Okay, perfect. 5 instances, 5 Yelan charges, 5 Farina normal attacks. Actually, it might be 6. I don't remember. This is perfect balance. Hear me out. And then, yeah, whenever she gets her full stacks, whenever she uses her E skill, for the next 10 seconds, because, you know, Yelan's was 20 seconds and they had to nerf it for Nahida and Farina because it's only 10 seconds now, because apparently Yelan C6 was too broken or something, or just too easy to use. Let's just limit it to 10 seconds. How about that? So after using her E skill, her normal attacks will become a longer name. What the fuck do we call it? Alien Death Rush Cryo.
What?
I don't know. She's the character from Horizon Zero Dawn, so she's a.
Wait, hold on, wait. Her skill is named after the Horizon Zero Dawn DLC. We'll name this after the Horizon Forbidden West DLC.
Perfect. Her C6. Whenever she uses her E skill and generates coils, the Burning Shores state activates.
This is so sad.
In the Burning Shores state, each normal attack that connects to the enemy detonates randomly one of the 5 bombs on the ground, dealing 500% of Aloy's damage as cryo normal attack damage. And obviously it explodes in an
Sorry, I was
AoE.
drinking water.
That's perfect. I don't know how good 500 is as a number, because it feels kind of high? Maybe?
It feels very high, but Alloy is very bad, so.
Right. So essentially for 5 normal attacks after she activates her E, each normal attack is AoE, it explodes, and it's 500% cryo damage and it's normal attack damage, so it scales off all whatever normal attack buffs you may be using before. And obviously it double dips into her E skill, which also gives normal attack damage bonus.
Sounds pretty decent.
Yeah, it sounds great actually. It's like Linny's E. Like when you pop it, it counts as charge attack damage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is perfect. The E's on the ground, whenever you do a normal attack at C6, they count as normal attack damage. And it's a lot of damage. Yeah.
Right, we've made Alloy above C tier.